Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny, and I have a piece of scripture for you from Matthew chapter 13, verse 44. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which someone found and hid. Then in his great joy, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. So we're continuing with our Powerful Purpose worship series, and on Sunday, if you are someone who is able and wants to come to worship on Sunday in person, you're welcome to do that. We're very glad. I'm excited to have people back in the sanctuary again, as well as joining those of you who worship online or remotely. That will always continue to be an option as well. But as we talk about powerful purpose, and this coming week, this is the place where what we're talking about in worship will intersect most with that book that I invited you to read, called Let Your Life Speak by Parker Palmer. It's a book that has been so meaningful to me and that I've shared with many people over the years because it is so powerful and such a helpful and short, accessible tool. These thoughts that and experiences that Parker Palmer shares have been so meaningful to me because they have helped me look at my life through a little bit of a different lens. I know that a lot of times we look at our lives and you know, we've experienced them. We have all these feelings about what we have experienced. Of course we do. We can't not. But there's a way that I think letting ourselves see our lives as if, at least for a moment, or at least moments here and there, to be able to see our lives and what's happened to us and what we have done and what the decisions that we've made and the impacts that have happened to us and the impacts we have had on others. If we're able to see that from a little bit of distance every now and then, or for a moment here and there, maybe with the help of a friend or journaling, if we can see our lives as from that little distance, then we can start to see the things that have happened and put some pattern to them, to see clues, as if our lives were this field that we read about in this short passage, and full of treasure that's been buried and or maybe needs to be seen as treasure. We don't even recognize it as treasure until we do a little bit of excavation, until we sit with our lives and look back and reflect and do so with a little bit of distance. I know that in my life, there were lots of clues when I was very young about, not really about being a pastor. Like, that wasn't something, I didn't play church when I was growing up. I didn't, there was nothing of that I could see as I look back that points directly to being a pastor. But there are things that point to the parts of being a pastor that I most resonate with, that are most clearly what helps me be suited for the work of a pastor. And I can see these things, and I can see the trajectory of how I came to hear the call on my life, the particular one of being a pastor, but also a lot of the other calls that I have had. And as I think about the conversations that I've had with people, as I think about the things that have brought me most to life, the things that have angered me the most, the things that I have the most feelings about, these are all clues. These are all like X marks the spot on bits of treasure that my life contains that all help me hear and claim more of who God created me to be, more of the powerful purpose and vocation and calling that God is calling me to. And so I invite you to do something of this. And I wonder if there's one particular thing that you might do as you move toward Sunday, and that is to take a mindful look at your life. And maybe you want to just take a period of time. Maybe it is there's an era of your life that stands particularly out for you. I know that for me, such a fertile time was the time that I was in high school and college. There was so much that I was learning about myself and so many experiences that I had. And it was this time between me kind of having everything set for me and getting to make all my own decisions, and then having things set kind of again when I settled in to a place. That may not be your era that you want to look at, but maybe you have an era that feels particularly like it's calling to you in this moment to look at. And to look at it like you're telling a story to someone else. And to let yourself listen to yourself tell you about this time. And to hear what you would say. What are the experiences that you had? What are the things that brought you to life, or that you missed that you had then that you don't have now? The things that you are so grateful that you did during that time, the feelings that came up because of those experiences. But maybe there was also a place in that era that you're looking at that really you just failed, that you felt, maybe you even feel shame or guilt or sadness or regret around it. Even that, maybe even especially that, is something that you're invited to look at and to tell yourself the story of. And let it be another one of those little X marks the spot on the field of your life that is full of treasure and clues and ways that God is speaking to you, bringing you more and more and more to yourself, and to that very place where your deep gladness and the world's deep needs meet together. Yes? So give it a try. Tell yourself a story about your own life and allow yourself to hear it with a little bit of distance and see what comes, see what you observe. No judgment, no, not a time for beating yourself up or even tooting your own horn. Just listen and see what you hear and observe in such a little exercise. Friends, we do get together on Sunday should you want and feel that that's going to meet your health needs and those of those close around you. We are open for worship. Know that it will be chilly in the sanctuary. We have to have some airflow in that space. And in the winter, the only way to do that is to have cold blowers on, the same blowers that we would have for the air conditioner. They're just not air conditioning, but they're still bringing outside air in, which is cold, or the windows need to be open in some way. So know that it will be cold, and it's not awful, but you will want to bring something to keep you warm during the time we are together. So bring a coat, bring a blanket, a Snuggie, whatever. Just bring something to make sure that you have the ability to stay warm. The heaters will still be on, but again, with the airflow, there is a chance that you might not be as warm as you are used to being or would like to be in that space. We are continuing on with being the church and being the people of Princeton United Methodist Church, and I'm always grateful for that. I do know that it's been a while since I've talked about their partnership with Kingston UMC. I just want to name that, and we'll start talking a little bit more about that in the weeks to come, again, as we continue to move on into what that means for us. But know that I haven't forgotten. It's still happening, and it's still part of our reality. Friends, as always, you can ask questions about that, and if there are particular things you want to know, I will try to answer those questions for you. Remember this week, as you go through this time, that you are enough because God is enough. Remember, too, that I count it a great privilege and honor to be on this journey with you, and I look forward to worshiping with you and connecting with you in other ways in the days and weeks to come. Blessings.